In Conversation, BFM 89.9. The business station.
Good evening and welcome to the show. I'm Caroline O, and with me in the studio today is a man who describes himself as pragmatic, but more interestingly, he claims to be related to William Wallace of Braveheart, and he has links with the mafia in Chicago. Who is he, you say? It's none other than Mr. Shaun Di Gregorio, the CEO of IPGA Limited, Asia's leading online property group. Welcome to the show, Shaun.
Thanks, Caroline. Nice to be here. Thanks for that introduction too.
Do you like it? I thought that was pretty creative.
I was very impressed. You pulled out a lot of stuff.
I did, but that's what everybody's going to be curious about. You have to explain these links, William Wallace and the mafia in Chicago.
I do.
Right.
So the Wallace thing is on my mother's side. So my mother is a Wallace.
Right.
And we did a bit of family history one time and did a family tree and managed to get the family back to Scotland.
Wow.
And, of course, if you're a Wallace, spelt the same way, we now have the Wallace shield. And the tartan.
Oh.
So we claim lineage to William Wallace. I don't know if it's Mel Gibson style William Wallace out of Braveheart, but the Wallace is nonetheless. So that's one side of it.
Okay, and this is something common that you all do. You keep your family tree, or did you decide to do it out of nowhere?
No, it was actually my sister's school project. So it was kind of by accident. But I think when you're Australian, you got to find out kind of where you started.
And how did you do this? Did you do it online, or it can't be easy to do?
No, this was pre-internet days, so this is going way back. So this actually necessitated, getting books out and reading and writing.
What's that like anymore? I don't know. I haven't seen a book in a long time.
Like pieces of paper everywhere, and, drawings and stuff like that. So probably a lot of the people listening won't have done that.
No, but it's interesting. It is indeed. Okay, Chicago Mafia then.
Yeah. So my father's side of the family, you read my surname very beautifully, is Italian. And of course, when they emigrated out to the US or to Australia, half of them went to Australia and some of them went to the US, and there's a couple who went to the US, ended up in Chicago and ended up in the gangs there with Al Capone. So it's quite a disturbing family tree, really, isn't it, where you've got the mafia on one side and the William Wallace on the other.
It is, but you must find some sort of a balance, I imagine. Did it shock you to find that out?
I probably explained a few things. I don't know.
Like what? Would you like to explain that to us?
Oh no, I think understanding where you come from is pretty important. I wasn't expecting those two results, but they're pretty interesting nonetheless.
Okay, all right. So now here you are, the CEO of IPGA Limited. Let's talk a little bit about that. Why don't you tell us what that's all about? So
IPGA is a company that runs property portals in Asia. So we're based here in KL, and we run iproperty.com.my, which is a property portal, most popular one in Malaysia, and we run similar businesses in Singapore and in Hong Kong, and looking to grow throughout the region. So it's a pretty exciting company to be a part of.
All right. And how long have you been with them? Not for that long, right?
Not for that long at all.
January
of this year. So I've what are we in November? So 8 or 9 months. Yeah. So I've been there since the start of the year. So it's going well.
Okay. And have you always been in this line?
Yeah, I used to work for another company that did exactly the same thing. We were based in Melbourne in Australia, and we grew out of there and ended up in 10 or 12 countries around the world, and spent about 7 or 8 years doing that. So been doing this line of work for a while now.
All right, so you haven't been based in Australia proper for a while, or?
No, was based there, but would travel out of Melbourne. So this is the first overseas permanent move.
Yeah. Do you like it here?
I really enjoyed. I think coming from somewhere that's cold like Melbourne, I haven't looked at the weather forecast here since I arrived.
Yeah, because it's the same every day, gloomy, rainy. Yeah. Oh,
not from where I sit. It's been good.
You enjoy it.
Yeah,
then.
Absolutely.
Okay, and are you very busy in your new post?
Yeah, really busy. It's been a really frantic 7 or 8 months.
What have you been keeping busy with?
Well, I guess we're trying to, grow the business, and that means employing a lot of people and, getting things like strategy set. And, we've acquired a couple of companies over the past few months as well. And we're doing a lot of work on the websites themselves in terms of trying to improve the user experience and trying to improve the experience for our customers as well. So, it's been a really busy time and thoroughly enjoying it so far.
Okay. And how is it different being here from being in Melbourne? I mean, the working culture.
It's probably not as different as people think. It's our company here has a bit of an international flavour anyway. Right. We have people from all around the place working for us. There's obviously different little subtleties and things like that, but it's probably more the same than it is different.
Okay, and do you find it exciting, challenging, all of that?
It's a really exciting place, KL. There's a lot happening, so it's...
Well, it's an exciting place, but is the job challenging?
Oh, yeah. The job is challenging. Working in this part of the world is really exciting. I think having spent a fair bit of my career in, mature markets in the businesses I was in, to come into a market that's emerging and there's a lot of stuff happening, it's growing quickly and lots of challenges come with that. But to be in this region is awesome. I mean, it's where it's happening, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's where it's happening. It's growing and it's booming. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Okay, it's none other than Shaun Di Gregorio with us this evening on In Conversation, the CEO of IPGA Limited. Any questions for him? You can send us a text at 016-201-9000 or tweet us at BFM Radio. I'm going to play your first song choice for us this evening, and this one I can't even pronounce it. It's flagpole something. Why don't you tell me what
Flagpole
it is?
sitter. Yeah. So there's a little bit of history to this. So
right.
I met my wife in Thailand. She's Irish, and I met her in Thailand, and this was
naturally, as one does.
Correct. What else were you expecting? And there's a famous nightclub in Koh Samui called the Green Mango. And
I know the Green Mango.
A lot of people who have been to Koh Samui will know the Green Mango. And this was the first song that came on where I convinced my wife to dance with me. Not that I danced very well, but stood opposite her while she danced.
And when was this?
This was 1998.
Okay, and you've been married for how long now?
Well, since 2004, so we're in year 6 and going strong.
Going well, they say. 70 hasn't. You haven't gotten there yet, so you can't say.
No, I can't.
You can't.
And I shan't.
All right, here it is. Flagpole sitter. Did I get that correct?
You got it beautifully.
BFM 89.9.
In Conversation, BFM 89.9. The business station.
Good evening. I'm Caroline O, together with Shaun Di Gregorio, the CEO of IPGA Limited. Now, Shaun, I was talking to the listeners. If you have any questions for Shaun, you can text us 016-201-9000 or tweet us at BFM Radio. In fact, we're going to address a couple of questions that have just come in. This first one from Hyrule Hafiz, who says, who's your favorite leadership guru and what is your favorite leadership quote? Do you have one?
I probably don't have a guru. I probably have a style of leader that I admire. And I think that tends to be leaders who are willing to take chances, who are willing to take chances and try and change something. I think, guys like Barack Obama are really interesting to me because he's probably trying to do something that is quite difficult in the environment that he's operating, and yet he's persisting, and I really admire that. And I think some styles of leadership turn out to be far too convenient and easy, and I admire people who take a chance. So I don't have a quote, but I think if you look at those leaders that do those sorts of things, I think leadership's about making a difference.
Well, I'll take a chance. Then you're quoting ABBA. That's fine. That's a leadership
It's a Swedish thing.
Yeah, it's a Swedish thing. So, do you aspire to lead in that manner as well? Is that what you try to do?
I just enjoy leadership. I think I find it hard not to. In a way, in terms of wanting to make a difference, I like being in a position where you can make a difference. So leadership for me is about trying to change something that otherwise might just be the same.
You like being the boss?
Kinda.
All right. Another question from a tweeter here. It says, "Are you here on a work permit, and how does that work?"
Yeah, I'm legal. No, I do have stamped in my passport a Malaysian work permit, so I'm part of the above-the-line economy.
Yeah, I have to apologize for we're very rude listeners sometimes.
No, it's
tweeting in. I have another one here. It says, "Do you know how to track the price movement of various properties in KL?"
Look, the best way to do that, if this is not a gratuitous plug, is to go onto the website and look at the sold data, and you can get a feel for how properties. How long they're on the market for, and what they're selling for. So the internet is the best way to do it. There's no magic way. It's just you've got to be persistent and watch the internet.
Okay. Would you like to give us the website address? I'm sure you would.
Yeah, iproperty.com.my.
That's kind of where you need to go. Okay. Now another question in here from Yuwin, who says, "There's talk that the Malaysian property market will be down in 2012 in terms of price. What's your take on that?"
I think the funny thing about Malaysia and KL in particular is that it's a very micro market. The geographies in KL tend to have their own micro market. So part of KL, I think, will always be appreciating. Landed properties, bungalows, etc., are always probably going to have good price appreciation. Whereas some parts of the city will probably ebb and flow. But I think so long as there's a lot of people moving to this area and there's a real government focus on construction and development, I think the property market will be okay for a while yet. I know it was flat last year, but I think it's getting a bit better.
It's not necessarily unique to KL, though, is it? I mean, other Asian cities pretty much the same pattern.
Yeah, look, cities like Singapore and Hong Kong have had a lot of influx of investment, and their property markets are hard to predict as well. They're very volatile, and if you look further north to China, the same thing. So KL is not immune from that. It's just part of the dynamic in the region, and the region that survived the global recession very well. So
And let's not forget, everybody loves Malaysians.
yes, that's correct.
Yeah, we cannot compare with Singapore and Hong
No.
Kong.